on for a second. We have our guest, Waild Shubat, is a former member of the Muslim Brotherhood. Give us a short overview of the Muslim Brotherhood. What is it, and why is it so bad?
Well, we have to look at history again. In 1924, the West finally defeated the Muslim world. Kemal Ataturk was assigned government in Turkey. Became a Turkish republic, I believe, and he removed the Arab sect. He squashed all the Islamic movements, which continued to try to gain momentum in several years until the AK Party finally got its foothold. But from that inception, when the Islamic world got crushed in 1924, in 1928, I believe, 4 years later, the Muslim Brotherhood gave birth. Are you still there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The Muslim Brotherhood was given birth in Egypt. You had Hassan al-Banna, and before him Sayyid Qutb. It became a terrorist organization under Jamal Abdel Nasser. I believe Sayyid Qutb was hanged, and it began to see a momentum when Russia basically lost the southern parts of the Russian republics. There was a void in that region. There was a void in the Middle East to reestablish itself, and so the Muslim Brotherhood became very vibrant under Obama. It was Obama's election basically that gave the message to the Muslim Brotherhood. They have a very short time, and that's what we had, the Arab Spring. We've seen what happened as a result. The Muslim Brotherhood of Egypt, you have Sheikh Yusuf al-Qaradawi, the spiritual head of the Muslim Brotherhood, take over the podium from Waild, who was a secularist who was going to give a speech in Tahrir Square. And if you recall that story, he was ousted out of the speech, and basically the Muslim Brotherhood announced its position in Egypt. Elections took over after that, and the Muslim Brotherhood was elected through voting and bribery and giving the masses foodstuffs and things of that sort. Now the Muslim Brotherhood is spreading its tentacles into Hamas, using the Sudan as well. So everybody who was ousted out of the Muslim Brotherhood from Egypt is back to roost in the Middle East, and we've seen the revolution in Syria as a result. So the Muslim Brotherhood is the umbrella organization. All the Sunni terrorist organizations, Hamas, the Islamic Jihad movements, that is the mother. And unfortunately, in the United States, it is not considered a terrorist entity. It should be, as it was in the days of Hosni Mubarak.
Theodore, you said that the Muslim Brotherhood in North Sudan is a little different than the Brotherhood in Egypt and their neighboring countries. Different in what way? Draw out the distinctions between the two Brotherhood organizations.
They're not different. The only difference, I would say, is the intensity of persecution which is going on in the two countries. Egypt right now, because the Muslim Brotherhood just took Egypt a number of years ago. I mean, just last year it took Egypt. So it's not immediately going to implement mass slaughters and persecutions on the Christian population as of yet. It will eventually, no doubt. But my whole point is, people ask me, how is Egypt going to turn out? What is going to be the state of Egypt in the near future? I say, just look at North Sudan. Right. North Sudan was taken by the same organization when Bashir and al-Tarabi did a coup and took the country. They're both Muslim Brotherhood. And so because the Muslim Brotherhood has been ruling in North Sudan a lot longer than the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt has, it has matured to a much deeper level in persecution than Egypt because of time.
It's a much more Sharia-compliant country.
It's a Sharia-compliant country where Egypt is just getting started in it. And we've already seen in the last more than a year, since the Brotherhood took over, the systematic burning of all the Coptic churches and and the killings and imprisonments of the Coptic Christians in Egypt. I mean, this is not the wholesale slaughter of Christians that we saw in the Sudan. And Egypt is a more westernized country also than the Sudan is. And so it's more technologically advanced, and you're not going to see the overt killing
insanity, hacking
in Egypt that you saw in the Sudan, I don't think.
Picking up on that, Theodore, we hear 2 million Christians, we know 2 million Christians killed in the Sudan. What is the nature of the conflict? What for people that hear the Sudan, they don't know what's going on.
I guess the Christians were occupying land that the Muslims were claiming as their own, right?
What was the essence?
Must have been a land for peace issue that couldn't quite get worked out.
I mean, Christians have been there for a long time. Give us a little primer for folks that don't know anything about the Sudan.
Before Theodore answers the question, if I may interject and make an addition here before he comments, it's important. It is very important to understand that the Islamic Da'wah organization that Malik Obama is responsible for in Kenya, that's the Kenyan branch of that Sudanese outfit, on that website that Malik Obama is responsible for, it states that the purpose of the Islamic Da'wah organization that Malik runs is to thwart the Christian tyranny in Sudan. In other words, it is really to crush the Christians to oblivion in Sudan. So this kind of remarks from the website itself gives credence to that plan that was embryoed in Sudan, taken over by the Malik Obama in this case.
So